Business Insider, we came to Belfast, it'll be almost 4 years ago now. So that our plan was we would start to create basically a software centre of excellence here in Belfast. So it's a tried and tested model that many companies have followed. So we, as I say, it's 4 years ago now, towards the end of this year, I first had conversations with the then CTO and CPO about our project here in Belfast. So, which is great, got me a really good view of the culture of the company, very much transparent, honest, truthful, back and forward conversation about what Business Insider wanted to do and their plan to do with their expansion project. So that's kind of where we are today. This was kind of, I guess we're a sister office. We call ourselves over here the international office, so it also includes Singapore and London. So in Singapore, there's currently around about 50 people, and that's all journalism and business. In London, we have just over 100, again, all business and journalism. And then to kind of, I guess, partner with those journalism hubs, then we have our software centre of excellence here in Belfast. We're currently a small team here in Belfast. That's done very deliberately. We've got some very high caliber and very experienced, very senior individuals here who carry a lot of sway right across the product and tech org. There's currently 8 of us, and we then partner on a daily basis with our colleagues in New York. So the plan for the next 6 months is to grow out that platform engineering team. This is a very new team here in Belfast. They're basically responsible for everything that you can't see, let's call it that, on Business Insider. So obviously most people know Business Insider from businessinsider.com, and we also do syndication. We have various syndication partners such as Apple, MSN, Yahoo, but everything you see, it drives and powers that, from our content management system to our API, to our microservices API layer. The platform engineering team will be responsible for this. So current technology stack in Business Insider, we try to basically have a platform where our software engineers can work from, which I call it cradle to grave. So you can, if you're a front-end engineering team and you're working on a particular feature, you have the skill set to change the front end, open up some PRs, and change the back end, and do your own infrastructure as well. So to kind of make that all come together, we try to base our technology stack around JavaScript where possible. So we use front-end frameworks. So our front-end frameworks we have at the moment are Vue.js, and some React. But we also have, and this is kind of interesting, we have a lot of vanilla JavaScript, and there's a good reason for that. So obviously there's fantastic frameworks out there such as React and a sort of Next.js, but they come with a lot of overhead, a lot of bloat, and sometimes with a technology platform such as ourselves with millions of people on there, performance is key and optimization is key. So we actually run a lot of vanilla JavaScript in the front end to cut down on the basically the file sizes, the package sizes, the build sizes, and of course that then reflects on our front end application and the payloads that go around and if you're requesting our news articles, because sometimes people's attention spans are not, they don't want to wait on this thing loading. So speed is key and speed is king, especially in our world. So we run a lot of vanilla JavaScript in the front end. That's reflected in the back end. Our back end services are mainly Node.js running Express.js again, and they're a mixture of TypeScript and JavaScript. TypeScript newer ones, JavaScript some slightly older ones, which eventually we would like to move all to TypeScript. But again, a nice blend there. So if you're familiar with JavaScript in the front end, you should in theory be able to jump into the back end, open a PR, and update APIs and change payloads and things like that, really sort of help build it out. Our infrastructure, we're all AWS, and all infrastructure is code. So there's lots of stuff in there ranging from Terraform to Python to some JavaScript as well in there, and also just your normal standard AWS sort of setup. We do run Kubernetes, and just due to the size of our platform and our traffic and the amount of nodes of our application we run, Kubernetes is critical to run that infrastructure. So rather than products built in Belfast, because our main product from the entire company is businessinsider.com, so where most of our traffic all comes from. So rather than kind of thinking about it from a product point of view, I'll think about it from a engineering and architecture and platform split point of view. So we've got control over the data engineering layer and the strategy behind that and where it's driven. That's driven out of by one of my colleagues in Belfast. We've control over cloud engineering and platform engineering. Yeah, so the main reason Business Insider's chosen Belfast, I hope it's not too cliched, but it's simply the people. It's the people, it's what we do, it's our experience, it's how we solve problems and how we take ownership. So we We like to solve problems. We like challenging problems. We like to own the technology stack. We like to drive innovation. We're creative, and it's really the people in Northern Ireland's mentality. It's how we approach work. We're all driven. We all want to do a good job. We all want to work hard, and Business Insider really buys into those our cultural values really. So the people first. Secondly, is just the level of people as well. Our technology level. We've got two fantastic universities here now in Belfast, and the folks coming out of there are just absolutely brilliant. The caliber, they blow me away. So what's it like working at Business Insider? It's innovation, it's creativity all the time. You can't stand still. So if you like somewhere where there's a challenge, and the challenge really is sometimes where I don't actually know what the outcome's going to be here, I'm not actually sure what the solve is here, then somewhere like Business Insider's for you. Every single day there's something different. There can be something different, a new challenge to solve, a new problem pops up. As I say, most people consume journalism and media through lots of different ways. They'll look at it on Facebook, they'll research on Google. Of course, everyone's have to talk about ChatGPT in here. I can't not. People are using ChatGPT like Google now. They're searching for particular topics and content. And that's pulling our journalism inside the ChatGPT platform, and they're engaging with us in there. So how different people, we as a company have to move to where people are engaging with our content, and that could be anywhere. Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, on businessinsider.com, on our own native app as well that we have. So there's different challenges there, and that's constantly changing and evolving. AI, obviously we're going to talk about that again, but AI is really changing the media and journalism world. What's trustworthy, what's not, did a human write this or not? But currently Business Insider's sort of policy in that is there's a human involved at every stage of our process. So yes, we do use AI heavily to augment our work streams, but we have a physical human involved at every single stage, governing and sort of basically overseeing what it's doing to make sure that everything is as it should be. We have a remote first policy. We do have a lovely office in Urban HQ in the centre of town, and how I leave it up to folks is really you come in with intent. So if you want to come in and collaborate together, get a good old-fashioned whiteboard and a marker and draw up some architecture diagrams, solve a problem, go right ahead. There's a fantastic office for that. If you want to come and do one-on-ones or career mentorship, and you find it's easier to do that in person, come on ahead. The office is there, the office is open. So, but if you want to go home and do some deep thinking for a week and collaborate with your team remotely and solve some really interesting and challenging problems that no one else has, then you can from the comfort of your own home. Cultural fit. So for me, it's someone who communication above all. It's good to talk, as some people say. So I think for me, communication and just the person's values, trust, empathy, respect, collaboration as well. So you jump on a call, have a chat with your colleague, you work together. We do lots of sort of normal tried and tested engineering standards. So PR reviews, we'll do pair programming, we'll do career mentorship sessions, we'll do various white bags, brown bags, or we'll call them these days, lunch and learns, or as we sometimes call it, Good Things Belfast. We run all those there. So really the culture here is just open. We deliberately keep a very flat structure. So you come and you ask questions. I hold office hours twice a week. People drop in, they ask me questions about how the company's doing, how the site's doing, how the organization's doing, or they ask me about engineering challenges and problems they're having, and my job's there to remove those roadblocks and push forward and help build the organization here in Belfast. So really everything is, if I have the answer, I'll let you know, and I'll also let you know the rationale and the reasoning behind that answer, and most importantly, you as an individual can feed into the site and the culture and what we're doing here in Belfast. If I'm studying CVs and reviewing CVs, one of the things I really like to say is obviously you get a lot of tech in there, right? So some of the first things going to be looking at is our technology stack. So but JavaScript's a lot of people have touched JavaScript these days, so it's quite common, but a lot of things I like to see are a little bit of innovation in there. And creativity. So someone who's maybe got, I call it a side hustle, doesn't necessarily have to be that, but somebody takes the initiative and they see a problem in the real world and they want to try and solve it themselves. So folks who've collaborated to open source code, folks who've built their own website, their own platform, promoting their own projects that they're doing. That shows to me you've got a real passion for what you do. You're not just here for a 9 to 5 day job. You actually really physically enjoy what you're doing, and you're passionate about it, and you want to communicate, talk, and help others. Mentorship is, as I say, we've sort of touched on the seniority in the Belfast site and how everyone's quite a high level. In fact, well, a very high level. So mentorship is a real key point for myself. So we want to bring up the next generation of software engineers. At some point in time, I'll not be hiring at such a high level because I'm sort of very obvious of our retention plan and our future sort of site strategy. So I will want to bring in sort of more graduate and early software engineering roles. So the fact that we have a very high caliber team and we have someone there to pass that knowledge on to the next generation is very, very key, and that's something I like to see in people's CVs as well. So our current open role is for a senior software engineer. So we have various bands in our organization. This one is what we call a senior software engineer 4, and it's on our platform engineering team. Again, technology stack will be JavaScript, Node.js, Express. If you have experience in infrastructure as code on AWS, we do encourage folks to run and try their own infrastructure as well. That's a nice to have more than a sort of a necessity. But heavy experience in Node.js, microservices architecture, and also right down into Mongo on the persistence tier. So our persistence hadn't actually touched on this yet. So MongoDB is our persistence database tier. So we need someone who's got deep knowledge of that. So I'm not talking just how to optimize a query, and talking beyond that, Mongo caching strategies, how to make sure there's no bottlenecks in your system, and how to diagnose and really get deep under the hood of Mongo. So that would be a really key skill set if we could find it.